He thought he was in control. How wrong he was.
Come to the dark side, driving. It's the dark side, driving. Come to the dark side, driving. It's the dark side, driving movie club.
From the deepest corner of the darkest universe, two brave hosts battle through nameless hordes of ghoulish monsters most foul, all to bring you the eternal glory of the Dark Side Drive-In.
It's the dark side, driving. It's the dark side, driving. Come to the dark side, driving. It's the dark side, driving movie club. It's the dark side, driving. Come to the dark side, driving. It's the dark side, driving. It's the dark side, driving movie club.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another terrifying, gorifying, not snorifying episode of the Dark Side Drive-In Intermission. You are joined by your hosts, the cool fools familiar with ghouls. Stefan.
Hey, Darkside Dave, thank you. I appreciate that introduction.
And Shane.
Thanks, Dave. You know, I think you're an underappreciated member of this team. Just want to let you know.
I appreciate that. Now I'm going to go play Stefan's Xbox because I just made him buy the System Shock remake. It looks so spooky.
Dave.
Yep, he's already over there starting it up. I told him it's probably not going to play as well as BioShock because it's like the spiritual like predecessor to the BioShock franchise, right?
Yes. Yep.
But I feel like even if they upgraded the visuals, it'll probably still play a little clunky.
I don't care. I don't even have eyes.
All right, Dave, whatever you say, man. So
I feel
Shane,
like Dave has so much to tell us.
he has like,
just doesn't
yeah,
wanna-
he's got a lot. Well, he's like still trying to figure out technology. Since he's an extra planar lich, I think is what he is.
Sure.
Yes, that is my lore. We haven't established it all yet, but that's what it is. Extra planar lich guy.
Good work, Dave. Go back to video gaming. We don't have to limit his screen time because he's presumably immortal, so he can just be on screens all the time.
And/or doesn't have the ability to look at screens.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about that. We don't understand.
Yeah, that's
You don't
fair.
understand how his eyes work or his perception of any kind. But we're not here to talk about Darkside Dave's lore. We're here to talk about something else. So, Jane, why don't you do the housekeeping or whatever it is you do? Or house creeping,
Yeah.
as we say.
House creeping. It's Count Dracula's cousin, the Method Man. Anyways, I'm kidding. It's not Drake's cousin. Please don't shoot me. So, just some quick housekeeping. We are still going strong with the current projects. Nothing's really changing there. AGB is still streaming 3 times a week. The Low-Key Arcade, actually, this probably is a little more pertinent to the show. So with the Low-Key Arcade, I've been doing some more horror content. Not because I think it'll do well, just because these games look pretty interesting. And I just did a really badass game. It's called Midnight Special. And it's a 90s 16-bit style game. And the theme is 80s slasher movie. So, but it's got a lot of like the Stuart Gordon stuff in it. There's a lot of like weird eldritch, like kind of body horror kind of stuff going on. Like, like ambiguously, like amorphous creatures. I don't even really know how to describe them. There's just a bunch of arms and teeth and stuff. So yeah, you should check that game out if you like horror. I don't know when it comes out, but the demo is free. So it's pretty hard to beat a free demo. So yeah, check it out. Yeah, other than that, I mean, we're just kind of pushing some other projects along, and hopefully we're going to get those out to you soon. But yeah, I think that's all I had for housekeeping. I don't know if there's anything else that you want to touch. I did watch a movie.
What?
Yeah, I know normally you bring up your movies. I don't have a really cool segment because I'm not as cool as you. But I did watch a movie
cool
called
is how I describe my segments, Einman.
Yeah. I love them, so so does everybody else. So I watched Hilarious, like Hellarious, like play on words. It was free on Tubi. And it's like a collection of like short story, like mini horror movies. And they're not all bangers, but a lot of them are pretty good. But my favorite one is Killer Carts. So it's basically like about shopping carts that just murder everybody, and it's phenomenal. And it's like, I think it's like 6 minutes long. So yeah, check it out. It's a pretty fun little watch. So, and there's also like a Lunch Lady one, and they're obsessed with Johnny Depp. So they act like one of the lunch ladies is getting picked on by a cheerleader, and she accidentally kills her with a plunger. And then they're like, what do we do with the body? And then they both see that Johnny Depp, like, I think they have a poster of like Sweeney Todd, and they both think of it. And then they're like, we're going to cut it up and feed it to the students. So it's pretty cool.
Nice. I
I
love
highly
those
recommend it.
anthology movies. I'm a big fan of them.
Yeah, do Hilarious. It's really good. Hilarious. Sorry. Didn't get rated well, but most people don't know how to rate these movies, which we'll get into later.
Yeah, we grade on a curve here, I would say.
Yeah, right.
Generously speaking.
And this curve has a shopping cart that bites a person's head off. So that's all I'm gonna say. I think you should watch it. I think it's worth your time just for the first scene. So yeah, but that's all I've been up to. I don't know if you had any housekeeping or anything you wanted to bring up.
No, not really. I have watched a lot of movies because I basically watch movies nonstop, but nothing of any particular note. I rewatched Scare Package again, which is another anthology movie that I've talked about before. Then I watched Scare Package 2, Rad Chad's Revenge, and it is not as good. They really dropped the ball on that one.
Of course.
Yeah, and then I watched one called Nightmare Cinema, which is pretty good. I can't remember where I watched it. It might have been on Shudder. I think it used to be on Tubi, but it isn't anymore. That one's a pretty good one. And I watched VHS, the 1985. Really? Huh?
Was it good?
Yeah, I think it's just VHS 85, actually, not 1985.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is good. I like those VHS movies. Even the bad one, which is, I think that for me, the bad one is VHS Viral.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't care for VHS Viral. But all the other ones I like. Like I liked 85. I liked the whatever the 90s one they had. That was really good.
99.
Yeah.
Well, there was 91, 94. So I don't know which one you're referring to.
99 is okay. 94 is better in my opinion. And 85 is also quite good. So,
I mean, the original was just like fantastic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the first two were really good. Viral, they kind of dropped off, and then they started doing like the different time frame ones. And I think that they've been pretty consistently good. There's usually like one really great segment in the latter ones, and then some of the other ones just kind of are decent, but like can't remember which one it was where like there's these like survivalist dudes, and you think that they're like a militia thing. And you're like, oh, so the story's just like this militia's bad or whatever. And then it turns out that the militia is hunting vampires. So it was a pretty fun twist. Cool. Like, oh, wait, vampires are real and dangerous. So these guys are actually, like, it seemed like they were going to attack a government building, but it turns out they're just trying to hunt down vampires, which is kind of funny.
So where did you watch this stuff? On Philo or?
I
AMC Plus.
Shudder.
Yeah, it's not coming up on Shudder for me.
That's because your list is incomplete. If you go to the bottom there, I think that you can see more. Oh no, you can't see more. Well, AMC Plus, like Shudder, is owned by AMC.
Oh, okay, so that's probably I see.
Mhm.
Understood.
But
Got it.
yeah, I think that they're all on because like most of the latter entries are all Shudder originals, and then some of the filmmakers from them like have gone on to make their own things. Like I've talked about Deadstream before, the found footage movie. The director of that got his start in the VHS franchise, doing segments for VHS.
So the original VHS, the 2012, is on Hulu, but you know what that means, folks? It's on Disney Plus.
Wait, what?
I think that's the Disney's starting to merge all that stuff into one.
So
I think that
VHS
is hilarious.
is on Disney Plus.
And I'm gonna watch it on Disney Plus tonight. I'm gonna try to mess up that algorithm.
Sure.
Oh man, look, we don't wield a lot of power, or any. But if anyone listening has Disney Plus, please watch VHS on Disney Plus.
Yeah, really mess with them.
Yeah, that's awesome. Cool.
All right, well, that's all I had for like just talking about movie stuff. I mean, before we talk about more movie stuff, pretty much going to be talking about movie stuff this entire episode.
Well, hey, you know what's a great way to break up movie stuff?
Oh, what is it?
I think it's the terrible 20s.
Oh, our 20 questions like?
Our 20 questions like? I got to remember that I'm not... so, folks, just again, we love the inside sports here. I'm sharing my screen because we're going to be doing something in a little bit that requires us to look at the same screen. So I have to not type anything in while you're watching because I'll accidentally show you what it is. So, yeah.
Yeah, because
good times.
God knows I'll definitely get it right otherwise. I'm so bad at this.
Yeah, folks. Well, it's time for our extremely popular and ever-growing
extremely popular
magnanimity is our 20 questions like the terrible 20s. I still think we need to like find one of our litany of co-hosts that rotate through and get one to do just one intro. We'll pay him like extra and then we'll just use that. But anyways, yeah, so this is our 20 questions like where we try to stump the man, the myth, the legend, Stefan himself. And Stefan, with that said, I've got one question for you.
What is that question, Shane?
Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm the readiest I've ever been. Even though I'm really not the readiest I've ever been, but I have to say that
This one's pretty easy.
Yeah, we'll find out. Still can't believe I didn't get the Descent. All right, let's do time frame. Is this an 80s movie?
No.
Is it after the 80s?
Yes.
Is it within the last 10 years?
No.
Is it a creature feature?
No.
Is it found footage?
No. It's a good question, though.
Is it a horror comedy?
No.
So it's not within the last 10 years. It is after the 80s, so it could be anywhere between the 90s and the... Is it a 90s movie?
No.
Oh, okay, So we got that time period between 2000 and 2014, basically. Is it a movie that's part of a franchise?
Yes.
Is it a slasher franchise?
No.
That's 9. So is it a anthology by chance?
No.
Alright, so kind of reiterating what I've said so far. Not 80s. Yes, after the 80s. Within 10 years, no. Creature feature, no. Found footage, no. Horror comedy, no. 90s, no. Franchise, yes. Slasher, no. Anthology, no. I was gonna ask the supernatural question that I know you love so much.
It is not supernatural.
Okay. Man, this game is so hard. Is there zombies or anything like that in it?
Yes.
Yes, there is zombies.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Are the zombies fast zombies?
Yes.
Is this a remake?
No.
All right, so that takes Dawn of the Dead out of the running. I think of fast zombie movies. Is it an American movie?
No.
No. Is it a British movie, like English?
Yes.
Is there a number of days in the title?
Yes.
Is it 28 days later?
Yes.
Is there a number of days in the...
Dude, how shitty would it have been if I did 28 weeks?
Well, then that was that last question. If you'd say no, there isn't.
What's the unit of measure?
Yeah. No.
Yeah,
and pretty soon it's gonna be
2002
28.
28.
Yeah, and they're doing
years.
they're doing like a years later sometime. Yeah.
Yeah, next year. It's supposed to come out. Not like super excited about it. As much as I probably should be. It does have a big budget, but it looks like most of that is to pay the actors. So, yeah.
How many did I get it in that time? That might be my fastest one yet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Nah, it's 17 is kind of like the right area.
That's good.
Yeah, but I just thought I got it a little bit faster, but it took me a little while to like circle around on the zombie of it all.
Yeah, June 20th, 2025, 28 years later.
Oh, so it's not even like this year. It's not going to be out till next year. So
Nah, it's next year, yeah. And then 28 weeks later was in 2007.
I did like the opening of 28 weeks later, though. Like when the husband or whatever is like running, and then all the zombies are like coming down the field behind him and stuff like that. Yeah. And it probably has one of the more gruesome kills in the franchise whenever his wife's like a carrier and he kisses her and then he becomes infected, but she's like strapped to a gurney. So he like takes his thumbs and pushes them into her eyes. It's pretty gruesome, and she can't move.
That was pretty rough.
It was, but yeah, that's the only.
I think Jeremy Renner's in that one too, right?
Is he? Is he like one of the soldiers?
He's a soldier. I think that's when they were trying to capitalize on the old. That was like a weird time for action movies.
In what regard?
Well, I feel like they were just trying to capitalize on like the hell's the name of that movie? Iron Man. Like that 2005 to like 2009. I feel like all those action movies, like, hey, let's add a bunch of guys with guns and make them like kind of like cool. Like, I don't know. Like, I like how so to me, I think 28 Days Later, it does the soldiers like justice, where they're like, no one knows what's going on. It's a total shit show. Everyone's freaking out. I don't know. I guess like, Jason Bourne was what I was thinking of. Sorry. Where it's like, hey, let's add an action hero, make him like plot armor and all that bullshit. So, yeah.
Oh, hey, yeah, because Jeremy Renner was in like the follow-up to the Jason Bourne ones, right? The Bourne Legacy movie.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Okay. Like, and then he was in Hurt Locker, and then all of the sequential Marvel movies.
Okay,
right?
Yeah, no, I follow you now. I wasn't sure where you were going for a while there.
Yeah, it took me a minute to.
I do think for 28 Days Later, like the soldier part, like the end of that thing is actually, I don't like that as much. I think that the earlier parts of the movie, like the momentum's better and like the world building is just better. I feel like once they go and join up with the soldiers or whatever, the plot kind of like spirals a little bit. I don't really care as much for that part of it.
Yeah.
Just my 2 cents over here.
I agree. While looking this up, I saw Wolfman is coming out next year, January actually of 25.
No, I didn't realize
Ryan Gosling.
Another Wolfman remake after Benicio del Toro one.
Man, they're doubling down on this. So, anyways,
is it part
cool.
of the Universal Studios thing? Like are still trying to do that thing after the Mummy failed?
Yes. Benny.
Not that the Mummy. The other one. The one with Thomas Cruise. What a bad movie. They really did like what's the name of that actress who plays the Mummy in The Mummy? I feel like they really did her dirty because they wanted to focus so much on Tom Cruise that they like kind of wrote her character out a little bit.
Google's like, don't ever type that again.
Yeah, it's Sophia Boutella, I think is her name. She's like she's in some pretty cool movies. But
yeah, she's also in Fantastic Beasts or whatever. Isn't she one of the? I'm thinking of the wrong person.
I don't watch Harry Potter stuff, so
I'm wrong. I'm sorry. She was in the Kingsman.
She was in the Kingsman. She had like knife legs in Kingsman.
Yep. Cool. Well, that was our 20 questions like. I hope you enjoyed it.
The terrible
Stefan
20.
is back on top.
Yeah, I did it. I succeeded.
He has clawed his way out of the grave to now terrorize and rise again.
Yep. I'm back, baby, and I'm back to murdering. Oh, here I go killing again. I guess I just got a little carried away. So, shall we talk about what it is that we're actually going to do for this episode of
I'm
Intermission?
pretty pissed about this list. Yeah.
So friend of the show, Jay, sent us a article that was on The Ringer.
The Ringer, yeah, not the hit movie.
Not the movie with Johnny Knoxville with the Special Olympics. No, not that one. It's a website that I thought was a sports website. I was kind of surprised to see that it had like movie stuff on it too. But the article was
just stick to sports.
Well, yeah, they I feel like they missed the mark on this. So it was the 111 best horror movie kills of all time ranked. And I have issues with this. I'm a very opinionated person, so I immediately had some concerns. And I think that you would agree with me that there's some mix up of what their project is, number one, because sometimes they're doing like really interesting or intricate kills, but then sometimes they're just doing kills because like this is a prestige kill because it's famous, you know? So I feel like they're
and sometimes they don't even do kills.
I know. Some of the ones that aren't even actually kills are kind of funny.
It's like, wait a minute, you can't just because you like the movie, you can't just put the whole movie plot as like number 25, the plot of Saw 1. It's like, dude, no.
That's okay. Yes. So that's one of the issues is that they don't like sometimes it's like a kill that's significant to the plot, and sometimes it's a kill that's like renowned for being like extreme or gross or something like that.
Yeah.
And that's fine, but I think you need to figure out what you want. Like, do you want to have the kills or do you want to have those plot important ones that might not be as spectacular?
I feel like there are two people in that office that like horror movies that are probably older. To me, this list looks like a bunch of 20-somethings, like early 20-somethings that aren't fans of horror went through and picked like, oh, this looked popular on YouTube. Like, you know what I mean? It was really weird.
Yeah, it was. I do appreciate that there is a couple of things that I did like that they did. They went for some really good classics of the genre. Like they talk about The Wicker Man, the original The Wicker Man. They talk about both the remake and the original of Suspiria. Like it kills from both of those. So it's not like I hated everything about it. I just want to go ahead and say, like, you know, up at the front that just because we're nitpicking the list, because that's what we want to do to get like a conversation going, that doesn't mean that everything in it sucked. Like, I just want to bring that up right now. And I actually appreciated that, like so they brought up a kill from Midsummer, however you want to say it.
Right.
And I think they picked the right one. And some of these lists, when they talk about the kill from Midsummer, they talk about the parents dying at the beginning, like when the sister kills herself and then the parents. But they chose the Atastupa when the people were like, the old people jump off the cliff.
Yeah, the cliff diving.
Yeah, like that was good. I think that was the right choice for that. And that's kind of like why the plot important one would have been the parents getting killed at the beginning, but they went with the more grisly one. So like I agree with that as the choice. But then sometimes they don't do that. Sometimes they go for just like a plot important one. Now I think we got our lines a little bit crossed, Shane. So
I did what you did. You did what you said though. I did.
Okay. Because my decision or my idea was we would look for 5.
Your edict.
Yeah, my edict. The Edict of Milan. I was playing video games the other night, and I was playing this World War I video game called Isanzo, and I got shot by a guy named the Magna Farta. That's like, I mean, this is embarrassing to be killed by a guy named the Magna Farta, but that's a very funny name. Yeah.
That is really good.
So yeah,
I have to take that one.
Yeah. But yeah, so my call here was we were going to do 5 that we would replace with another kill from the same movie. Like I don't think they picked the right one. Pick 5 to just remove from the list. I don't think they would have a spot on this list. And then 5 that we would want to add from outside this list using our encyclopedic knowledge of all things horror to improve this list by both of us having 5 to add. Cool?
Yeah, so the only one that I messed up is the replace one. But
yeah, I think I kind of didn't explain that very well.
I'll fix it when we go through it. Well, no, so what I messed up though is because I did my replace last, because they even themselves don't pick kills most of the time or some of the time. Like I did a couple that I thought were scarier in the movie that weren't kills. Cause I'm like, oh, this must just be horror movie scenes, right? So yeah, I kind of messed up, but I can, I might just say the ones that I think that there's better scenes in that movie. Maybe, I don't know. We'll get there. It'll be fine. It'll be okay.
Are you trying to convince me that it'll be okay? It sounds like you.
I'm trying to convince me.
Okay.
It'll be okay.
Well, how about I'll kick us off, and then you can use this as like a way to kind of understand what it is that I'm going for. So
do you want to do which one are we doing first?
The replace with something else in the same movie that I think would get a better spot. Now there are some movies that they do have multiple kills from the movie in the list. But that's, that oddly enough, I don't think any of those are ones that I would have picked anyway to replace. So let me tell you one. It's actually number 8 on this list. Jaws. Now they picked the opening scene where the girl is eaten, like getting grabbed up by Jaws whilst skinny dipping at the beginning.
Sure.
Fine scene, very tense, good way to introduce us to the concept of a Jaws. But I actually prefer that scene where Roy Scheider is at the crowded beach and that little boy gets eaten, and it does like the
oh my God.
zoom in zoom out shot, like that it zooms in on him as he's seeing this happen. I like that one. I think the kid's name was like Alex Kintner or something like that was the name of the boy who gets killed. That one, like number 1, first of all, because it's a kid getting killed, like kind of messed up. And I just think it's like a more effective scene overall. Like I think that that's kind of what I was saying, like the difference between picking like the best kill or the most important to the plot is like the opening scene with the girl getting killed is kind of like showing us what world we're living in. But I feel like especially the scene of this kid getting eaten, it establishes that no one is safe. And it's like a horrible moment. So that's kind of where I'm at with the Jaws pick. So replace the Jaws opening scene with a kid getting eaten instead. You know how much I love it when kids get eaten. It's my favorite part of an alligator.
You do love when kids get eaten.
No, the kid getting killed in alligator is such a jarring shift in tone for that movie. Like I've talked about that before. How it's just like, why'd they put that in the movie? Like even like when Joe Bob Briggs covered it, he even brought that up. He's like, why did they kill this kid? It makes no sense. But there you go. I'll pass it off to you now to do your whatever choice you had.
Yeah, I think for me, the first one, and I'm just going to take this one right now. So number 87 is Chopping Mall. Oh. And the scene that they picked was when Susie burns.
Barbara
Terrible.
Crampton getting put through the ringer. That was
I think the head laser explosion way better
all right. I can get on
because
board
that
with
really sets the tone for that movie, right?
It definitely
I mean,
does.
So I'm gonna pick. I think that one to me is more like sticks with me more than Susie getting burned alive. But again, very good kill. I just feel like I don't know, just something about something's head exploding with a laser out of nowhere. Plus, obviously in various states of undress.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, no, that's cool. I do like the head lasering and
for her
chopping
scream
them.
though, don't this doesn't take anything away from Barbara Crampton because she kills it. I think laser head blow up is usually gets me. But again, another thing that I hate about this list is that they do multiple ones from the same movie, which I think is stupid. And like I would have put there's other ones from other movies. Like I think Chopping Mall Susie's Long Burn should be way higher than 87. And it's better than half of the other ones they picked from other movies. But we'll get there.
I think they have like far too much Final Destination representation and too much Saw representation, in my opinion. But
that's why I said the age group. It's like 28-year-olds wrote
Right.
this fucking article that don't have any sort of fucking taste. Anyways,
damn kids. All right, so my next choice then. This one might be a controversial one. I'm gonna go with number 80 from Shaun of the Dead. So they chose the
Ooh.
Sorry Mum one.
yeah,
When Simon Pegg's character has to kill his mother.
Mhm.
Again, yes, very important to the plot, and it's a very disturbing scene. But I'm sorry, I have to go with what was it when David gets like ripped apart when he's like takes the gun away and is pointing it at Sean and stuff like that. Then he backs too close to the window. And then he gets like ripped apart by the zombies because it's like the most gruesome kill in the entire thing. And then like David's girlfriend or whatever, like somewhat girlfriend, like takes one of his legs and starts beating zombies with it. So that's the one I would replace from Shaun of the Dead. Again, I think that the Sorry Mum one is like a very, very important to the plot kill. But I'm going to go with that Prestige one of someone getting torn apart. And I wonder if the reason they didn't include use that one when David gets ripped apart is because they kind of have a similar scene from Day of the Dead that they chose when that captain gets ripped apart, which is also a very similar scene to this.
right.
So there you go, Shaun of the Dead.
So
Are you all right, man?
my next
Okay,
one,
yeah.
well, no, because my next one is Shaun of the Dead.
Ooh, Day Wanawanga, as Bib Fortuna
But
would
like
say.
this is one of the ones where I said the Philip scene in the car. But like I couldn't remember if they killed him or not, and I'm like, is this just like the horror scene, or is this like they kill him, right?
he dies, but then he zombifies. And then and it's like a funny scene because like Philip is like trying to like have a heart-to-heart moment with Sean.
Yeah.
And then what was it? Then whenever Sean's been saying he's not my dad or whatever, and his mom says something and it's like he's not my dad. And it's like Sean, stop saying it. It's like no, I mean he was, but he's not anymore. He's a zombie.
Yeah. So like I like that because in my opinion, if you can have just random death, so any of the fatal Final Destination movies like hit that, right?
Yeah.
So it's I don't know. I just felt to be like because the Sorry Mom was touching, like that was tough. But then it is immediately like overwritten by like them doing weird shit for 10 more minutes in the ending, right? With him playing like Nintendo or PlayStation with his best friend Ed.
Oh yeah, when he's zombified. Yeah.
Yeah, so like you know what I mean? Like it kind of like cheapens it a bit, but man, the whole Philip scene, I just loved it. I thought that was so funny.
That was a very funny sequence. Like Philip trying to have one last heart to heart with Sean.
Yeah, right. He just dies.
That was
He
good.
just dies.
I forgot about that
Okay,
scene.
cool.
That's a good one.
Yeah, I can't believe we both picked that movie.
Yeah, I think
Honestly, we should have known that.
well, yeah, but that's the thing. It's just because that kill that they chose again is like more like a plot important one. It isn't really a good kill in my opinion.
Yeah.
All All right. Well, next up for me is actually going to be number 88. It's the Resident Evil laser hallway.
What?
I think that's dumb. I came to this movie.
Oh my god.
Listen,
Okay.
Shane. I went to the Resident Evil movie to watch people get eaten by zombies, possibly other creatures that were made by the Umbrella Corporation, and a majority of the team gets killed by a laser hallway?
Yeah.
Ridiculous. That's not what I went to the movie for. I wanted zombies, possibly hunters. They don't even have hunters in the movie, Shane. They don't even have hunters. They don't have chimeras. All they have is a discount liquor, kind of.
That didn't even appear in the first one.
Yeah, yeah. So I think that maybe I'm just taking out a lot of my anger at that movie in general, but I just feel like that one, I would not have chosen it. I probably would have gone with, it was kind of a tone setter, but it's when the girl is in the elevator and trying to get out, and she only gets out like halfway.
Oh,
and then the elevator
dude.
starts, and it looks like it's gonna decapitate her, and then it stops, and then it goes up again, and then it definitely does decapitate her.
Yeah, like stops. She's like, oh, thank God. And then wham.
Yeah, I like that one. Unfortunately, that's the sad part about it, is if I have to pick a kill in Resident Evil, and I still can't pick a zombie one, because there aren't really that many good zombie kills in it.
There aren't. Like, I think the only one is that, was it Michelle Rodriguez?
Yeah, she gets bit and she gets zombified, and they have to kill her on the train, right?
Yeah, but that's like it.
Yeah, and then there's like one scene where the one guy opens a door and gets pulled in, and we don't really get to see what happens. He just gets pulled in.
Sure.
So yeah, not a lot of good zombie kills in Resident Evil. So kind of a devastating choice. But if I had to make a choice, it's that opening kill in the elevator that really gets things started, you know?
Good. That's a great one. My next one, I'm gonna rip it off the Band-Aid.
Alrighty.
Sleepaway Camp, number 51.
Okay.
All right. One, the canon of the movie, they don't kill this lady. She's not, you don't know she's dead.
What, are you talking about Judy?
The curling iron, yeah. It's heavily implied. But then, I don't know if that was a fan movie or what, but you don't, I don't know. You got to pick the ending, right? Like,
yeah,
she
straight
straight up murders that kid, or the Boyle, where she pushes that guy, but he doesn't die. So that's why I didn't pick that one. So, I think the ending, dude. You got to go with the ending.
I would agree. Yeah, I think that the curling iron, killing Judy, is just a little too like with the implication of what she does to her is pretty messed up. But we don't get it. Yeah, we don't get to see it. But like later on, the ending of the movie, when we get the
hanging dong.
Yeah,
like,
hanging
they shouldn't
dong.
have done that,
yeah,
but like
scary.
whatever.
Yeah, you were upset about that. But yeah, decapitates her like love interest. Like it's a pretty there's a reason that like the ending of that movie has stood out so much. I'm very surprised they didn't choose that.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Next for me, and this is going to be a controversial one. I actually think you might disagree with me on this one.
Sure.
I'm going with 93 from Pet Sematary. They chose Gage Creed because he gets hit by the semi truck.
I'll get knocked down and I'll get up again.
Yeah, but it's so that is fine. But for me, the scary, like the best kill though, is when Gage Creed comes back and he goes and murders Herman Munster. When he murders Fred Gwynn. Because like he gets like an Achilles tendon tear with like a scalpel. Like, oh yeah. Do you remember that? Yeah. So I that's why I have to go with, as much as I love the Gage Creed kill that he gets hit by a truck. And I like the edits online of that they do on like Instagram reels. But for me, it's when Judd Crandall gets iced by baby Gage Creed after he gets resurrected at the Pet Cemetery.
That is a good one.
Yeah. Don't go down that road. Pet Cemetery over there. You bury stuff there. Don't stay buried. Come back.
Don't go down that road.
It is really funny though how like the entire point of the movie is Judd knows his horrible place and knows what happens when you bring things back from it, and still totally shows his new neighbor like where to do it. Like Judd, just keep it to yourself, man.
Damn it, Judd.
Damn it, Judd. All right, but yeah, there we go. Pet Sematary. I'm gonna go with Judd's death at the hands of Gage Creed, who, you know, again, their choice was Gage Creed getting hit by that truck, which, you know, it's pretty gnarly watching a kid get splattered by a semi, but still
Pretty gnar.
It is pretty gnar. All right, what's your number 2?
So my next one is It Follows, number 62.
Okay.
While I think Annie's death is pretty wild, I still think the most horrific death, or best death in that movie or kill or whatever you want to call it, was when the neighbor kid was like, "Oh, there's just nothing wrong," and then that lady, I don't know if it's a mother or who it was.
It took on the form. Yeah, it took on the form of his mother.
Yeah, and then just basically fucks him to death. And you actually get to see how the creature kills people, which is like wild. And also how claustrophobic that scene felt. Because like before, you would always see that thing following them. Like occasionally it would be in the house or a house or in a building or something. But a lot of times they were filming, it was like far away. And it got close, but sometimes, you know what I mean? Like it was always at a distance.
Yeah, I agree that that guy actually seeing him die, that neighbor dude, that was definitely a better kill. Because Annie's death, we see the aftermath. We don't see like, you know, her dying. It is an effective opening scene because like she's like, we get the point of view of she's looking at it, but we don't see it. So we're just seeing her reaction to seeing it. So that's a cool scene. It's a good establishing scene, but I agree with you. The actually watching that thing kill somebody is way more messed up.
Yeah.
All right. Well, do you want to know what my number 1 is?
Let's hear it.
It's number 102 from The Blob, where they choose the phone booth scene.
Okay.
I think that there's a lot of way better kills in that one. That one is kind of messed up because like the diner like waitress lady is in the phone booth and she's like trying to get a hold of like the sheriff's station, and then she sees that the sheriff is in the blob with it like when in the phone booth, so like you're not gonna get through the sheriff lady. But like literally the kill before that was like the dishwasher guy getting like pulled into the sink by the blob. There's the movie theater scene where like people just getting blobbed up left and right. And then there's like the scene where the projectionist gets it in the movie theater scene. But despite all of these awesome kills in the blob, I got to give it to whenever the main character and her brother and like her brother's friend are all in the sewers trying to get away. And then the one kid gets grabbed and she like tries to go in after him or whatever, but isn't able to get to him. And then it's suddenly the blob like lets him go. And we see this kid like half melted screaming before he gets pulled back in, and it's like all practical effects. And like, again, I wasn't expecting one of those kids to die. I thought they would like narrowly avoid it. And instead, like, no, this kid gets like melted in the most horrific way possible. And then he like pops out at the last second to like scream one last time before he gets dragged back in by the blob. So, and I would also put it like way higher on the list than 102 because it's a gruesome kill for sure.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll do some like more critiquing after we do the list. So this is where I kind of messed up, and I was able to fix all of them except for this one. So I didn't understand, and again, I don't think they understood the task here, because a lot of these kills that they pick happen off screen, or it's like implied. I really thought there were better kills. So the Paranormal Activity is the one I want to talk about. I can't remember if she kills anything else in the movie, in that one, or if it's the second one, because they're literally should be the same movie. The kill they choose is the dad, or her killing the husband off screen, and then dragging his body and like tossing it.
Yeah, when she kills Micah.
So I guess, does she kill the dog in that one, or is that the second one?
That is the second one, I think.
Yeah. So like,
In the second one, doesn't
like,
she kill her sister? Doesn't she like snap her sister's neck or something like that?
yeah. So like, again, that's my fault, but I still want to take time to just talk about how ineffective them doing that off screen was in that movie to me, because they did so many good scenes of like just doing time lapses overnight, her just standing there, right? And I get it, they had a budget and stuff, but to me that was not like a solid. I don't know. I don't even really know if it should be on this list, but we can argue that later. So I don't know. That was the one I messed up.
Yeah. That's fair.
And then like Get Out, like there were a couple other like, they picked the death scene.
I think they just like the movie, so they wanted to put something from the movie on it to have representation on the list, and that's one of the issues with this. Is I think they do that.
I agree with you. Right? It's just like a checking a box off. Like, oh, we loved Get Out. It's such an edgy horror movie, and it's like, okay, for sure, but like, I mean, there were good kills, but there were gruesome scenes, like the gardener, like getting like retrained or I don't even know what they're doing, to be honest with you, but whatever they did, doctrinated or whatever. Those scenes were pretty intense, and it's not like they're bad. I just like, I don't know. Anyways, but yeah, so that was my replacements.
All right, cool. Well then, now that we've done replacements, we're going to do probably the most controversial part of this entire thing. Ones that we just want to delete completely. Just get them off the list. Oh, before that though, I just want to say one thing. On my replaces, I had an honorable mention for In a Violent Nature because I already have told you what I would have replaced it with, because when I talked about In a Violent Nature, because they do the yoga scene, which, is a good scene, but I've already said that like the automatic wood splitter when when he kills like the park ranger, that was my pick, but I didn't want to bring it up for this list because I already talked about that separately. Like that was a better kill.
That's fair.
But it's cool to see In a Violent Nature having representation on the list already, considering it just came out.
Right.
But yeah, onward to the 5 that we would just delete. I'm gonna come out swinging. Number 59, Saw 1. When they said Adam was their kill. Here's the thing, buddy. He doesn't even die on screen. They just lock him in a room. Like, I feel like they just wanted to include the Adam dying in Saw 1 because they wanted to bring up how cool they thought the twist was that Jigsaw was on the floor in the room the entire time. Like, I'm sorry, man. No, I don't like, that's not a good kill. They just leave him there to starve to death. And he doesn't even die on screen. So, yeah, it's implied he'll die. And I think in later movies they show that he died. But, like, that's just not a satisfying.
Mark finds him.
Yeah, is that how it ends up, that they find that room? And
I thought so.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Point is, like, I get it. Adam kind of had the shaft the entire movie, but that just wasn't it for me. I don't feel like that one should be on the list. So, and I already, like, I'm probably going to take some heat because I've said before, and I'll say again, I just don't care for the Saw franchise. I think it's silly. But like, even in the litany of crazy Rube Goldberg murder schemes throughout the franchise, just locking a dude in a closet isn't it. So, boom, delete, Control Alt Delete, get that thing out of here.
Yeah, but that was that time though, like the super shock value gore horror, like Hostel, and all these movies were really popular. But this was on my list too. I also don't like the Saw movies at all, but I'll take so we'll just both take that one, but I'll do my other one. So the Saw 3D reverse bear trap, I thought was stupid.
All right.
It shouldn't be on this list. And mainly because they already show that trap being used in another movie. Like, that girl escapes because she had that trap and got out. So, like, it implies that this guy is not as creative as everyone likes to think he is. So he, like, do you know what I mean? Like, so the whole reverse bear trap thing, it's like, okay, good job, theaters. You did it because you didn't get to show the girl getting her head ripped apart the first time. You had to reuse it again. I thought that was really, like, lazy. So,
yeah, a little bit. I'm inclined to agree. It is a pretty shocking death for sure, but yeah, it does feel like they kind of reusing assets, you know?
Yeah, it's stupid. Like it's just dumb. You already did it. Let it go. So yeah, I was pretty mad about that one.
All right. Well then, yeah. So we both chose the same one. That's awesome.
Did you also choose Saw 3D?
Oh no, the other one, the Adam
Oh,
one.
okay. Yeah.
No,
So I'll be
no.
down one, but it's fine.
Okay. All right. Well then, my next choice is probably gonna get me in some hot water with the Earth. But I'm gonna go with their number one pick, the Psycho shower scene.
Yeah.
I feel like they just put that there because it's like the prestige, big choice, like famous scene and everything. But I've never cared for the execution of that. I get that it's a classic. Yeah, there, you never saw scenes like that
Right.
before. I just think that, just because something is like an archetype, like the blueprint that for things that would come before it, it's been surpassed by other things, like better, more gruesome kills. And I think that in a list where you're going to talk about kills, like putting that one at number one just feels lazy. I would like to see it replaced by like a better choices from more recent movies that have done a lot more with the medium than that. So,
But like even the remake of this with Anne Heche is better than this. Like
we're about to lose a lot of followers, man. They're gonna be so mad.
No,
at
dude,
us.
I'm sorry, dude. It was okay. Look, this was filmed in 1960. I get the implication. I get the precedent it set. I understand that, but this list is not most influential to the horror genre, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Like, it's not our fault these fucking people can't read their own assignment. So, these people would have gotten a D from us if we were grading their papers. This is a shoddy list. The top 5 are terrible. There's 3 movies on here that aren't even horror movies. But you know what? I'm going to hop right into my next one. Fucking 7 is not a horror movie. I'm sorry. It is not a horror movie. Like, same with, like, okay, Secret Window. Same kind of bullshit. It's a thriller. And whatever. Sue me.
Which one are you going with from 7 to remove?
Fucking all of them.
So, I think they have 2 on the list.
Okay, I'll give them the head in the box thing. Again, you don't see the kill. You don't know what fucking happens.
That's actually on my list.
Sorry. Then I'll take the other one, the living corpse. Stupid. This guy, he's a serial killer. He set up all these crazy kills and okay, then show them. Right? Like let's take a look at one. Okay, guys.
Well, the living corpse guy
Number
doesn't
17.
even die, does he? Like that guy is alive. That was the whole point of it, wasn't it?
I guess. But he's dead to them. That's in their description. Again,
they say that he's brain dead or something, but it's like, but he's not actually dead.
He's like kind of dead in some states. In Texas, they'd shoot him. But anyways, so number 17, Friday the 13th, part 7, The New Blood, The Sleeping Bag. That's a fucking kill.
It is,
folks. Folks, sit down for a second. That's a fucking kill. Just because fucking
what number was
Creepy McGee put someone's head in a fucking box and gave it to someone. Like, I was just mad about it.
Yeah, you seem really worked out. What number was the living corpse scene from 7?
45. Sorry, 45.
Okay, because mine like number 16 is the what's in the box one.
Yeah,
and again, important scene to that movie, but you don't see him kill Gwyneth Paltrow. In fact, you don't even see her head, do you? It's just like implied that it's in there strongly. And then he gets like murdered by Brad Pitt. And like, is that the kill? The shooting of this dude? I don't know. It just doesn't seem like a good choice. Like, I mean, it is a good choice in that it's a intense scene from a very good movie, but it's just not the kill, True. I like 7. Don't take me as I think 7's a bad movie. I like 7. Not on this list. Sorry. Yeah, I'm inclined to agree that it maybe like the kills. I don't know. I mean, some of the kills, I guess, but that's the thing is the movie is about the investigation. So you don't actually see the kills. You see the aftermath of the kills. The Da Vinci Code had better kills in this movie. Wow. Because they fucking show someone dying. All right. I mean, okay. Yeah, but that's the thing is like mine was 16. What's in the box? I think it's an important scene, but Not
You didn't think I was going to get this fired up about this, did you?
No, I didn't. I really didn't expect it.
Sorry. I just hate stupid shit. And this is...
All right. You want me to...
I try to stay positive too, but fuck, dude.
Yeah, apparently. Do you want me to move on to my next one?
Well, you did the head in the box, right?
Yes, I did. Oh, yeah. So, yeah, it's your next one.
Okay. And this is my last one because we had the Saw Adam one. Okay, this one probably going to get me in some heat.
Love that.
Okay. Number 71. You ready for this?
Yeah.
Last house on the left, Weasel bites off more than he can chew. Okay. Let's take a second. I get it. I get all you spit on your graves, all you last house on the left people. Fine. Influential kill? Like, come on. I hate these movies. I do. So if anyone's like a fan of this, I'm sorry. I don't get it. I never will get it. Like, to me, it's just like these movies are just like, again, they're called trash for a reason. So,
well, why is it Weasel bites off more than he can chew? Because he's not the one biting.
Well, okay, so that was really what like honed me in on this, because I'm like, is he biting his own dick off?
No.
Like,
you've seen this movie, right? Like
unfortunately,
yeah, the mom lures
it's
him.
the mother. It
Yeah,
tricks him into going outside.
Yeah,
I get it.
She bites off his wiener and he bleeds to death.
Yeah. So, yeah. I mean, look, I am more of, I just don't want this movie on the list. Easy target for me. Is it a cool kill? I guess. I don't know. Not for me.
Yeah, there's a very similar one in I Spit on Your Grave too, isn't there?
Yeah, these movies are just fucking.
There's two separate instances.
They're too graphic. They're too graphic.
Wiener removal. But yeah.
No, well, it's not. It's not the wiener removal. The movies, like.
No, it's the sexual assault. That's the yeah.
Yeah, it's too much, dude. It's too much.
It's yeah.
And it's been reformed and turned into like some. I'm not even getting fucking into this, but yeah, it's too much. They shouldn't have let these movies come out. Wes Craven, you gave us Scream, but you did this, and I don't understand you.
Well,
it was Jim Perkins.
The Last House on the Left, the ending of that movie is more interesting to me because in the remake, they actually they softened it a little bit. The daughter lives and stuff like that. But this one at the end, like the parents, like the dad finishes chainsawing the last guy, the cops show up and then go in and there's like just the parents covered in blood, just like crying because their daughter is dead. And they just like use the last of their energy killing these people. It's like this like bleakness about like the American dream or whatever. Like the way that it ends is so dark. I'm like, I guess in a way, like that's interesting in a really dark way, but also, yeah, I didn't really need the lead up to it. Like everything that they do before that. Cause like, I don't know if you remember, but like and then in the remake, the son of the bad guy lives. And he helps the parents like turn on his like father and stuff. In the original, the bad guy basically guilts his son into killing himself. Like it's a really way darker movie than so I like it's interesting in that way, but also it's just I don't need that. We didn't need to have that be made.
No,
same thing with The Hills Have Eyes in many ways.
Right, but I feel like the whole I don't know. I'm not getting into this. So never mind. Yep.
Okay. So yeah, my next choice. I think I'm gonna call an audible on what my next choice was.
Whoa.
I was gonna do like the one from Death Proof, but I actually just don't care enough about Death Proof to even talk about it. So
sure.
I'm actually gonna do what was it? It was let me look at what number it is. It's a high one.
Okay.
106, 28 days later, Frank gets infected.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is another one that's like, why is this your choice out of the kills that you would choose? Because all it is the dad gets blood dripped in his eye and he becomes a zombie thing. and then that's it. And then he just gets shot by those soldiers who saved the group. Well, quote unquote, save them. It's like that one. That just isn't a very effective kill to me. Now, if I was going to replace it, which was our earlier section, I'd have some opinions. But like just saying like that one, I would remove. I don't think that that's an effective kill, really.
Did you read why they picked this?
No, I didn't.
Okay. Do you want me to read it to you?
Sure.
All right.
I never learned to read.
This is sales from theringer.com. It's so heart-wrenching that you may have missed one great detail. As the bullets riddle Frank's body, the blood splatters everywhere, including on the camera lens, as if the viewer's been infected now too. It's like, okay, good job. Thanks.
Maybe if I was infected, I wouldn't be as annoyed. But
I don't know. I don't think they planned that, because how many times did they do that shoot? Did they spray blood on the camera? Was it because they want you to be infected? I don't know. That's dumb.
I think it was just kind of like Danny Boyle's style in that was very like,
yes,
yeah, it was a very specific style, and I think that the kind of adds a like cinema verite thing to see like the blood splatter on the camera, because it's shot kind of like in a guerrilla film style way. Yeah. So
Frank Miller did the same thing. Or not Frank Miller. Who did the Frank Miller at Sin City? Who did the actual movie?
Was it Robert Rodriguez?
Thank you. Yes.
Yeah. I think that
he does the same shit.
I think that Frank Miller might have directed one of the segments in that, but don't quote me on that.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. Though.
No, yeah, I do.
The over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. So what's your? Oh, you don't have a last one because you didn't choose.
Yeah, because we both picked Saw. Adam, because we might have to write these people a letter and explain them what kills are.
Yeah. Well, I have one more, and it's gonna make us some real enemies around here. Okay, so I'm gonna go with number 58.
Okay.
From The Shining.
Yeah.
The death of Dick Halloran.
Yeah.
Number 1, he doesn't die in the book. Like, why did we have to do Scatman Crothers so bad? And not only that, like, did like Stanley Kubrick like hate Scatman Crothers for some reason, wanted to kill off his character? So like he rolls in, he brings like the bobcat or whatever, like the snow thing that will eventually be how the wife and Danny, like how they get away, right? But like killing off Scatman Crothers' character was so dumb. It made no sense. Like, I think that he, like in the book, he just like knocked him out or something like that, but he survived. And then it became very important because then Scatman Crothers, I can't remember the name of his character in that. Dick Halloran. I did say that.
Yeah.
So Dick Halloran then, then he trains Danny to use the Shining.
The gift or the Shining
to help him, and then that's like very important to Doctor Sleep, like the sequel. And I will give credit where credit's due to Mike Flanagan, who directed the Doctor Sleep film. So he had the unenviable task of trying to make a movie of a book sequel to a famous movie version that departs so much from the source material that it makes it hard to fit those pieces together. And the way he did it was he had Dick Halloran's ghost visit Danny and show him how to use the Shining and stuff like that.
Sure.
Like, okay, that, you had a difficult task, Mike Flanagan, to like use a character that survived in the book and became very pivotal to Danny's journey moving forward. So yeah, but like killing off Dick Halloran just doesn't make any sense to me. Did like Kubrick just need a body count? Like he needed some kills? Like the ghosts weren't enough? I just don't understand why he did that when it wasn't even in the book that way. So that's my number 1. Like, get that out of here. I hated that. I hated the kill.
That's fair.
And I don't think that it's even like that spectacular of a kill that it deserves to be on the list. So
agreed. I was gonna talk about that one, but I was afraid to I wouldn't do it justice because I didn't read the book. I do know that the book doesn't go like how the movie went, but I just I don't know. I like The Shining. I'm not obsessed with it like a lot of people are. I think that like there's a lot of really cool like visual Easter eggs and stuff that Stanley Kubrick put in there. But I don't know. Again, it is a horror movie, I guess. But I don't know.
I just never liked that Kubrick made that choice, and I definitely don't like it on this list.
Yeah. Well, again, it's not a good kill. It's like how he hit a guy.
He just gets like axed immediately,
right?
like
Yeah.
jump scare axed. Yeah, I don't know. I think they just wanted to like put something from The Shining in there because of like the intensity of it. But they also put Jack freezing in this list. It was like number 13. And I'm like, that's also it's not even really a kill. He just freezes.
Just dies.
Yeah.
Yeah. You could, like, any of these killers on here could just die of old age. Do they get put on the list? Like,
Oh man.
I don't know.
Vicious.
I was pretty mad about all this.
Apparently.
I was, dude.
All
this is
right.
bullshit.
Yeah. Well then,
And people go to this website.
they do. So now that we've done our replace
God.
and we've done our delete, I wanted to do an extra section where we will add, like, since we've just deleted 5 off the list, what would we add to the list instead?
I bet you a beer, that we both have 2 on here that are the same.
I would be willing to bet 1, but I don't think 2.
I'm going to bet 2.
All right. Well, do you want to say what one of them is immediately?
The Prowler.
It is the Prowler.
The fucking shower
So
scene.
yeah, the pitchfork. That's the one.
Yeah,
dude. Yeah.
That should be 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah, there's a lot of great kills in that, which we've talked about. I think that the Prowler is probably one of our best finds that we didn't expect going into it, how great it would be. But yes, the scene of stabbing through her in the shower with the pitchfork is a messed up scene, and I definitely think it belongs on a list of best kills for sure.
Yeah. And then number 2 would be the death of Logic because they were looking for a guy with a wheelchair upstairs. But I think that
The death of Logic.
I think that the shower scene alone is, and look, some of the other kills are just out of control in that movie and could easily be in top 10, the whole movie. I will say with this list, them not having any Prowler stuff on here is pretty like gut wrenching. I also could tell from looking at the list that they skipped a lot of the 80s.
Yeah.
Big blind spot.
Yeah, I agree that they definitely didn't give the 80s the love it deserves. Like, there's so many slasher, and then like I think most of the 80s representation is in the slasher space. Like they have a couple from Nightmare on Elm Street. They have a couple from various Friday the 13th, which is fine. But I don't know if I agree with all of those choices either. But yeah. So yeah, let's we agree we would add the Prowler pitchfork scene. That's awesome. And hell, I'd even like want to add the pool scene. That was that was a gnarly kill. Yeah. Yeah, get boot to the face.
Shit.
Yeah. So yeah, I agree. Some Prowler representation is overdue. All right. Do you want to say your next one, or do you want me to say my next one? We kind of like came together on that. So
look, I'm gonna shoot for the next one. I think we both have.
Okay.
And you could go for any of the ones in this movie, but the killer clown scene where he punches that guy's head off.
I do have one from
pizza delivery.
I have one from Killer Clowns, but it wasn't that one.
Okay. I'm surprised you didn't pick that one because they did the Jason Takes Manhattan one.
They did. Yeah, they did the punch.
But they didn't do the Killer Clowns one, which is crazy, right?
Yeah, but no, I was going to go with the pie, the melting the guy with the pie.
The pie to death.
Yeah. That was my Killer Clowns choice. But yes.
I knew we were going to have one for both have Killer Clowns in here. I'm glad we picked different ones.
Yeah. No, I definitely wanted
so
some
good.
representation from Killer Clowns. So
like, how do you not have that on this list?
I don't know, man. I really don't. It's
like Christopher Titus's debut movie, and you don't even put it on your list.
Well, that's not exactly a selling point. That one.
All right, what's your next one?
Hold on. I'm trying to figure out the name of this kid.
Which movie?
It's actually a kill in Doctor Sleep.
Oh, I haven't seen that because I'm a bad person.
Okay, there he is. This is the name of the kid. The kid's name is Bradley Trevor, but Abra calls him the baseball boy. And basically, so Dr. Sleep, the entire thing is that there's this like group of like psychic vampires called the True Knot that murder children. they go after kids,
nice.
like kids with The Shining, and they murder them and drink their psychic energy. It's released when they're like tortured. So they have to like torture children to death. And
Sure.
yeah, there's this kid, the baseball boy, and it's like it's like a really messed up scene of this like little kid like just getting tortured by these psychic vampires. And the little kid is like, he says like, "Are you going to hurt me?" And then Rose is like, "Oh yes, we are going to hurt you." And it's like really messed up. And the kid's just like screaming while these people are like just basically torturing him to death to like drink his psychic energy. It's a really messed up scene, man. The young actor in that, I guess, like was really impactful in his performance, because there was an interview with Rose the Hat, the actress who plays her. What is her name? Rebecca Ferguson. You might know her as Paul Atreides' mom in the Dunes.
The Dunes.
Yeah, in the Dune films. But yeah, she was like talking about that scene
Jessica.
and how like that kid screaming like actually hurt her because like she didn't expect it. So it's kind of funny when she talked about that in an interview about the movie. So yeah, really good one. Dr. Sleep. I think it's slept on. So
Hey, that's good. That's good.
yeah, and I think that there's been like, especially with Mike Flanagan kind of getting more and more famous and popular over the years, people have only been paying more and more attention to Dr. Sleep, so I'm hoping it starts getting the recognition it deserves. But yeah, that kid,
Nice.
the baseball boy getting killed in that is a messed up scene, so that's what I would choose.
Cool. That's a great choice.
Hey, thanks. This is where I hand it off to you to do your next one.
Yeah, I think my next one is going to be Maximum Overdrive with the steamroller.
Yeah, it is.
And
I almost picked that.
and yeah, and man, you just don't see a lot of kids getting run over by steamrollers anymore.
You really don't. We used to be a proper country, Shane.
Yeah,
kids
we used to have
getting-
a lot of fears
getting-
about that.
Getting
We
run
were,
over by
you know, taught-
steamrollers.
Yeah, right. We were taught how to avoid steamrollers as kids, and I feel like, you young kids don't have to deal with this as much today. That and quicksand. We had a lot of that back in the day too.
Oh yeah, quicksand. Truly
yeah.
a dangerous thing.
Yeah, or like the dog dying from the toy car thing.
Oh
cool.
yeah. Well, like we only see the aftermath of that one, but yeah. Like,
Yeah,
that was
for
a
sure
messed up
though.
one.
Or the vending machine killing people is pretty awesome. So like, I don't know.
Yeah,
that
machine
movie's so good.
gunning children with like cans.
Yeah, here's Diet Coke.
Yeah, though there's a lot of banger kills in
Taste the beast.
yeah, in Maximum Overdrive. But yeah, the steamroller was the one that I almost said too. So I agree with you.
Nice. Yeah.
All right. Well, my next one is from a pretty disturbing movie. I don't know if I've talked about it on the podcast or not.
Okay.
It's a Taiwanese movie called The Sadness, if you're familiar with that one.
I'm not.
It's basically where like there's this disease called Alvin that starts spreading. It's like a virus. And what it does is it makes it so that people like have to like carry out whatever like violent or like sexual urges come over them, and they
Okay.
can't resist it. It's called The Sadness because like the people who have it look like they're crying, and the reason is because they are aware of what they're doing, but they can't stop themselves. And like the idea is like these people are all crying because they can't stop themselves from like murdering people or doing whatever it is that they're inclined to do. The one dude who
Sure.
describes it is like it's like trying to force yourself not to blink, trying to stop yourself from like killing people. And the kill from that I'm actually gonna go with is it's got one of those like awesome opening scenes of like a creepy old lady who like is her like front is like covered in blood, and she walks into like this diner where like the main character is like getting a cup of coffee, and she like goes to like this fryer, picks it up and dumps like the fry oil on the dude who works there's face. And then like as his like flesh is like basically now boiled, she starts like tearing off pieces of his skin. It's
Oh, no shit.
it's a pretty gruesome kill. And it's like a really effective sequence too, because she's just like an old lady, and like there's like one dude who was like trying to help her, and she spit in his face, giving him the disease. And then after the fry oil thing, like the main character turns around, and that dude who got spit in the face is stabbing his friend in the neck with a knife. Like,
oh no shit.
Yeah, it's just like a really chaotic opening scene. But yeah, her
better version of Bird Box
doing the fry oil on the dude's face was like, I wasn't ready for that. It's a very depraved movie though. The Sadness, I really can't recommend it. It's a little bit much. But if you can tolerate, graphic violence and stuff like that, like it's on Shudder, it's worth a watch. So that'll be my selection from that movie.
Yeah. My next one, I think, again, should be on this list. Or any scene from this movie could be on this list, or kill, I guess. Is the scene where the main character, or one of the main characters from The Strangers, shoots his best man with a shotgun.
It's Glenn Howerton.
Dude, yeah, Glenn Howerton getting just iced. Seeing that in theaters, like, life-changing. That's one of my favorite movies, horror movies at least. And I did get to like see it in a theater, like, and back then you just had trailers. Like there wasn't like, tons of media like talking about movies constantly. But yeah, I love how they deliver horror in that movie. And I think that's so effective at setting you up for certain scenes and just subverting what you think is going to happen with like very obvious things. So I loved how they set that up. So yeah, there was also a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes too. There was a lot of really good like through lines, some good like subplot points that were happening that made that even more like there was more gravity to him getting like shot. So yeah, that's my choice. Sticking to it.
All right. Well then, my last one, I think is my last one, right? Yeah, this is my last one. I am actually going to choose a little underrated horror gem called The Void, if you've ever seen The Void.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a Lovecraftian horror film. The director is Steven Kostanski, who he's going to be directing the upcoming Deathstalker remake. He did like Psycho Goreman, which is one of my favorite movies. So it's basically just this movie about like these two guys who are trying to like put a stop to some plan to like bring about like some Lovecraftian like deity, and basically everyone's in this like country hospital. It's about to get shut down when suddenly like supernatural stuff starts to become like a thing. And there's like a lot of really cool creature effects, and like there's a couple of kills that I could choose. But the one I'm probably gonna go, and it's really funny because like it's really haunting. There's like a cult full of like hooded figures with black triangles on the front of their hoods, just like surrounding the hospital, making sure no one can leave. So they all have to stay in the hospital where like there's like these monsters afoot and stuff like that.
Like this scene, like I've shown pictures.
Yes. Well, yeah, that's where like it turns out that the doctor is in on it, and he like is trying to have like this baby that is born, like a giant monster baby, to like be the deity that comes through so he can have like the knowledge. So the doctor's like the one who's like in on it all. But it's kind of funny because it like the creatures like infest you. And the very first time we see it happen is there's this dude who's like in a hospital bed, and this one like the cop goes in and he's like, Beverly, what's going on? Like the nurse Beverly is sitting there, and what she has done is she had just used like a pair of surgical scissors to stab this dude in the face who's in a hospital bed. And the cop comes in and she's just sitting there like continuing to gouge this guy's eye. And then the cop's like, Beverly, what have you done? And then she turns around and she's like, this isn't my face. And she starts trying to like cut her own face off and stuff like that. And then it like basically forcing the cop to end up having to shoot her when Sheelan tries to attack him. And it was just like this crazy scene of her just like stabbing this dude in the face with surgical scissors. And she's like gone insane and like doesn't believe her face is hers anymore. And like tries to cut it off. It's just like a crazy scene. And then she, after the cop shoots her, she's right. Like tentacles are coming out of her eyes and mouth. And she like morphs, like joins like with the other dude's body and like morphs into this monstrous creature. And then later on goes to kill like the sheriff by like pushing tendrils through his eyes. So that was why I was like, I don't know if I'm going to go with her stabbing this dude in the face, or I'm going to go with the sheriff guy getting like the monster tentacles through his face. They're both really good kills. So,
well, hey, according to this list, you could have both in one scene. So
there you go. Yeah. Except that it's like a later scene, but,
they don't care.
So yeah, that's one, like The Void, underrated movie. It's from 2016. I think it's streaming on
nice
Peacock right now. But yeah, it's a really good one.
It's on Tubi.
Is it on Tubi as well? Okay.
Yeah, I just put it on my list. I also put up the picture of the nurse. It's pretty wild.
Yeah, Beverly's been going through it, man. Yeah, and then she morphs into like this monstrous creature, and yeah, it's a good movie. I really like The Void. I think it's underrated and underappreciated. So
my last one is one that we just covered, so shameless plug for the we did it for part 1 of the Summer Tri-Slash-a-thon, second annual, by the way.
Second annual.
Is Intruder, and the scene I'm going to choose for that is the meat saw.
I had a feeling you were going to choose that one.
Dude, that is the most gruesome kill I think I've ever seen in a television or a movie or any sort of visual medium outside of one of those videos that you shouldn't watch on the internet. So, it is unbelievable the level of detail that they went into to make that scene work. And the fact that it's PG or whatever it was, makes it even funnier. So, folks, if you haven't watched that scene and you're not squeamish, I highly recommend watching The Intruder. No words can do that kill justice.
Yeah, that's quite a kill for sure.
Yeah, like the teeth and oh my god, it is visceral. So, yeah, that was my last ad.
There you go. Yeah, hey, we did it. I did want to throw out one. So I ended up changing one of mine at the last possible second. I actually had a different one on my list. So the other one I had on my list was like one from the movie Unwelcome, which is like the folk horror movie about like the family who like moved to a cottage in Ireland and turn out to actually have like these things called red caps, which are little like gnomes that like live in like the forest nearby. And there's like this one scene in that one where the red caps are like, there's this family that's been like harassing the couple, and they like break into their house to hurt them, and like the woman who's pregnant goes to the forest and asks for help from the red caps, and then like the red caps basically just like start attacking this family. There they are dancing around her. That's like the end of the movie.
Yeah,
when she becomes the new master of the red caps. But they so like what happens is there's like the family that's harassing them is like the dad, played by Cole Meany, who rules, from Star Trek. I love that guy. And then like the son, who's kind of a piece of crap. Another son who's played by, I think, the guy who plays Hodor. And then a daughter. And at one point, like the daughter is like getting captured by the red caps. They have her like holding onto her arms and legs. She's like, "Oh, what are you guys gonna do? You think you can hurt me? You're all little." And then one of the red caps just like disembowels her. like she doesn't think they can do anything, and then one of them just takes out a knife and just cuts her open. It was like like a very funny scene. I didn't expect it to happen that fast. Those red caps,
it's a Shudder one.
They weren't messing around. Yeah, it's a Shudder movie. So yeah, if you have Shudder, give Unwelcome a try. I like that movie a lot. So that was like an honorable mention that I had it on my list.
Yeah, for sure. That's a great one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just had made an audible at the last second to add another one. From the one from Dr. Sleep was the audible I made. I actually didn't have one planned out ahead. It just talking about Dick Halloran dying reminded me that Dr. Sleep rules. So there you go. All right. Well, we did it. We said ones that we'd change from the same movie. We said ones that we would just delete entirely. And then we said ones that we would add using our encyclopedic knowledge of movie deaths.
And believe me, there were way more that we could have probably talked about or put on this list. I just feel like they really missed the assignment here.
I'm inclined to agree.
Yeah. Again, not to shit on them too much. I don't think they're horror enthusiasts. It looks like 2 or 3 of them probably are, and the rest are like, "Hey, I saw Hostel." It's like, okay, cool. Thanks, Chad.
Thanks, Chad.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's just like a mix of ones that are
they
like
signed it. So
influential. Yes, so like it's just a ranking of like some of the kills are good kills, but then some of them are just like important or something like to the plot. So that's the thing. It's like they didn't really know which way they were going to go with it, and that kind of hurt the overall article, in my opinion.
I think they could have taken out all the Hostels on here too. I'm not a huge fan of those movies either. I understand they have a time and place in our history.
In our history.
Hey, I will say Deep Blue Sea made the list, and I actually can't agree with that one more. So
the Samuel L. Jackson getting eaten while he's doing his monologue.
So good.
No, that's what I mean. Like it wasn't like the list was a total disaster. We just have issues with parts of it. That's why we split it up into those 3 categories. So we could be very thorough in our critique.
It was fun. So thanks, Jay, for giving us the heads up. Again, if you see something like this and want us to talk about it, we're happy to take time and go through it. That's kind of why we wanted to do these intermission episodes, was just to get the stuff off our chest, because we do other stuff in horror world, not just one-off like the movies and like do like reviews or however we're critiquing it. We actually play horror video games. We talk to each other about this stuff a lot too. So yeah, if you got any cool ideas, we're open. So send it to us.
Yeah, that's what the intermission is for. Yeah, for us to kind of a little more freeform, kind of do what we want to do. All right, so I think we're going to be coming to a close with this Dark Side Drive-In intermission. I think that we had said in our last proper episode that we were probably going to do 2 intermissions in a row due to your traveling schedule and stuff like that. But time kind of got away from us, so I think we're just going to end up taking a week off. So there will be, I think that this one will drop after the final piece of the Summer Tri-Slash-a-thon. So once this episode drops, you'll have a week off, and then we'll probably get back with a mainline episode after that. So don't get concerned that we didn't release the 2 intermissions that we promised. Things just got away from us, so we decided we'd rather not try to rush through another episode when we can just take a week off, and people, I think, would be understanding of that. So
yeah, sure. Yeah, and I think another thing too, like we're committed to putting out quality, right?
Speak for yourself.
We put a lot of right. We put a lot of time and thought into what we do, and I feel like I think you hit the nail on the head. I think it's a good idea. Just take a week off. But so this Friday, by the time, well, you won't know that. So the 12th, you would have already have listened to the final part of our, time is a weird
wibbly wobbly, timey-wimey.
Yeah. So you would have listened to our 3rd and final part of the 2nd annual Summer Tri-Slash-a-thon this past Friday, the 19th. And this will probably drop by the time you listen, it's probably the 16th. I'll probably post something on social media too. One thing, I'm going to start asking for questions again. I think it's time. I think it'd be fun to do another Q&A. We've picked up a lot of new listeners, a lot of new followers. So, we like to ask questions, and it usually comes with cool suggestions and stuff. So stay peeled for that. I will post to Facebook and Instagram. I'm probably going to use the same graphic because that was a cool graphic. So It won't be a repost. So I'll figure out a way to make it look different so people don't think we're just reposting the same crap. But yeah, so that's all I had, Stephen.
All right. Well, then one last thing I wanted to say before we call in Darkside Dave to give us our outro. Thank you to Rebel Revolver for our theme song. I try to make sure that I bring it up every time. I don't think that for the month of July they had any shows on the books, but I think they're going to be, if you check their socials, I think they have some coming up next month. So if you're in the Pittsburgh area and you are a fan of music, yeah, check out Rebel Revolver's socials and go support local music.
And if you're a fan of pets and making sure pets find good homes, you could check out the book by P.C. Riley, who's the drummer for Rebel Revolver. Half of the proceeds go to the Pittsburgh Humane Society. I think he just wanted to do something to memorialize his, I think, recent loss of his cat, but also give back to the shelter where I think he found the cat, correct? Or they were adopted the cat from, I believe. I think is the story. We have a longer post on our socials about that. Check it out. Good book, good cause. So yeah, and I think it's on Amazon, so you can literally click a button and it shows up to your house in 2 days. So
technology.
Yeah.
All right. Well, now that we've gotten the housekeeping taken care of, let me see if Darkside Dave is ready to give us our outro.
Hold on. I need to save my game. All right, I've saved my game.
It's good. You know, Darkside Dave, there was a time when certain games had like limited saves. Like in Resident Evil, you had to use ink ribbons. So you could only save if you had ink ribbons and went to a typewriter.
That is crazy. I would hate to do that. I like to save all the time. I'm a real save scum guy. That's why whenever I play Baldur's Gate 3, I save every time I do something.
Oh, Darkside Dave. You're one of those guys. But here, give us our outro, why don't you?
Yes. You've been listening, dear listener, to the Darkside Drive-In Intermission. So go home, have a nap, watch some spooky television or something, and come back for a mainline episode after a week's break. So without further ado, we'll say goodbye to Stefan.
Goodbye, Darkside Dave. Thank you for that.
And we will say goodbye to Shane.
Auf Wiedersehen, Dave.
Auf Wiedersehen. Well, it's a hot summer out there, so more important than ever is to stay cooled and stay good. Goodbye. Spook 'em up.
All right.
Thanks, Dave.
Yeah, that was really great. All right. Well, bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
He thought he was in control. How wrong he was.
Come to the dark side, drive-in. It's the dark side, drive-in. Come to the dark side, drive-in. It's the dark side, drive-in movie club. From Dynamis Media comes a horror cyclopedia, watching movies from the gates of hell. Covers ripped from a blockbuster shell. Officer Bosch is the only good car. Jugs and the stuff just can't be stopped. Things get hairy and the werewolf's there. Turn the corner and the prowler is there. It's the dark side driving. It's the dark side driving. Come to the dark side driving. It's the dark side driving movie club. Shane's the one who runs the show. He produces and keeps the flow. The Savini of the ones and twos. Only Jack Cordell has bigger shoes. Stefan does the bulk of the research. His descriptions just can't be besmirched. Lots of synopses are the top of lore. Just like Lamson, you'll be begging for more. It's the dark side driving. It's the dark side driving. Come to the dark side driving. It's the dark side driving movie club.
From the deepest corner of the darkest universe, two brave hosts battle through nameless hordes of ghoulish monsters most foul, all to bring you the eternal glory of the Dark Side Drive-In.
It's the dark side driving. It's the dark side driving. Come to the dark side driving. It's the dark side driving movie club. It's the dark side driving. Come to the dark side driving. It's the dark side driving. It's the dark side driving movie club.
Thank you. Have a nice